Welcome to another episode of Morning Coffee Guest. I'm your host, Simone Absalom Gale. It is said by Elbert Hubbard that a little more persistence, a little more effort, and what seemed hopeless failure may turn to glorious success. And that right there is the true epitome of our guest today. Stay with us and we'll learn more about our guest, Tiana Dinham, right after this break. We'll be right back. Ambition is the path to success, and persistence is the vehicle you arrive in. That was said by Bill Radley, and that in itself is very much true. Welcome back to Morning Coffee Guest. I'm your host, Simone Absalom Gale, and I'm here with the brilliant Tiana Dinham. Welcome, Tiana.
Thank you.
So, who is Tiana, and what was it like growing up in Maryland, Hanover?
I would say that Tiana is just a rural girl who is just constantly learning about herself, learning about her place in society and how she wants to contribute to society. I think she's also just a girl who is just trying to navigate life and seeing what it has to offer to later just be the best version of herself. Growing up in Maryland, Hanover, which is a rural community about 9 miles from the town of Lucy, it really made me a person who valued like hard work. There wasn't a lot of like educational or recreational opportunity. So if I wanted to do something, I had to seek out the opportunities for myself. And in seeking out these opportunities, I made it my mission to not just find these opportunities and keep them for myself, but to allow the other youths in my community to get these opportunities as well. It's really a close-knit community, about 200 persons live in that community, and we're really close. Like I could go to any one of my neighbors' house and have dinner or go over uninvited, and I would still feel like I wasn't imposing or anything. We're all just a big family and we lean on each other in times of like happiness, in times of sadness and everything. We're just one big happy family. Honestly, my community members and I have a very close relationship. Like my successes or their successes, my failures are also their failures. And we just constantly lean on each other. So being the person that made like history per se, it's really inspiring to everyone in Maryland because they see it as their success as well, having helped me along the way. So I would say that we're just one big happy family.
All right, let's talk about high school now. What was your favorite subject and why was it your favorite?
From a young age, I wanted to see both sides of the spectrum. So when I did GSAT, I told my mom to select only schools in St. James because I wanted to see what was life outside of my parish. So I decided, I did GSAT and I got into Mount Vernon High School. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. Like, I learned a lot about myself and to use the resources that Mount Vernon had to offer to constantly grow. So when I entered like high school, my favorite subject was like maths because I was never an English person. But along the way, I fell in love with chemistry. Just learning about the possibilities in the world and learning how chemical reactions keep us alive, how microscopic processes are constantly happening and taking place, like that constantly piques my mind. And there's so much possibility, so much more to learn. Like chemistry is just, it makes my heart race. It makes me go.
Honestly, I would say I was a jumpy person in high school. Like I wanted to join everything because I thought that if I joined a lot of clubs, I could learn like what I wanted, what I was interested in. Because when I went to high school, I had the intention that I was going to discover something new about myself. So I tried to join like a lot of different clubs to see what I vibed with. And after a while, I kind of cut down the numbers because that also took a toll because I needed to be able to leave school at a certain time to catch my bus to go home. So I couldn't be in like 4 clubs at a time. So I tried to cut down the number to a reasonable amount while still trying to fulfill my, because if I was going to commit myself to a club, I wanted to give my 100%. And if I could not do that, then I was not going to take up an executive position in that club, and I knew that I could not fulfill my obligation. So I still try to get everything done in high school, because that has always been my goal, to get a well-rounded experience, not just about academics, not just about extracurricular activity, but a balance of both.
All right, so I understand that you're going to high school, you want to be a part of the socialization, all right, and you had to develop a form of time management, that kind of discipline. I get that. You go to school, you join club, but then you decided to take on another responsibility. You were the head girl of your school. Why did you decide to take that challenge on?
Honestly, at first I was kind of afraid to actually take up that position because I knew what it entailed. Like, it required a lot of work, a lot of communication between like administration and the student body. But I started talking to my peers and they kind of pushed me to take up that responsibility. Like from grade 7, I started getting leadership positions. So I thought that my teachers believed in me. And it seems like along the way I started to inspire others. And I decided I was not just going to focus on like my classroom of peers. I was going to see if I could reach the entire student body. So that was my goal of being head girl, to see if I could reach the entire student body and to inspire them and see like how I could be like a role model to them.
Wow, boy, hats off to you. So along the way of trying to experience new things and discover yourself and figure out what you wanted to be, you got involved in medicine. How did that come about, that love affair?
I think I started like evaluating what Jamaica was lacking, and I started hearing like some horror stories about like the Jamaican healthcare system, and I realized that health equity is like a big thing in Jamaica. Like, if you don't have the money to afford like state-of-the-art healthcare, then you could not receive proper treatment. And I don't think that should have been something that was even like debatable, if you could get good healthcare or not. So I started thinking about like, how could I change that in our country? How could I contribute to that? And I realized that my goal in life would be like to open some clinics and hospital in like some remote areas. So regardless of class, socioeconomic class, race, anything at all, like I would provide like state-of-the-art healthcare to everyone, because I don't think that should have been a debate in the first place, because it's a life or death situation. We should all be receiving proper care.
Hats off to you, and I really hope that you're able to make that. I have no doubt, really, I have no doubt. I mean, you set out goals in your life, and so far you've been smashing them. So I have no doubt. So you get through all of this experience, right? And you're head girl, and you're about to leave school. You decided to go on the next level, which is to figure out your tertiary education. And you decide to apply overseas. Why not apply to local colleges here? Why choose to apply overseas? Wait, but did you? Did you apply to UWI and the usual?
Yeah, I applied to UWI.
And the rest?
Yes. I just applied to UWI because after I sent off my UWI application, I started receiving the scholarship offers, and I realized I would select one of those.
So you applied to both UWI and overseas?
Yes.
Why? Why not just stick to local colleges?
I think the biggest reason, like the major reason I applied abroad, is that I wanted to see both sides of the spectrum. I always believe that there's something more that we can learn, and I think that going abroad to school, I could see a different side of the spectrum to learn something that could potentially help to make Jamaica a better place. So that has always been my goal. I don't want to stick in my comfort zone. I know that if I went to UWI, I would still do my work academically and still have my support system at home, but I really wanted to see what was life abroad. There must be something there that I can learn and later come home and implement to make Jamaica a better place. So even in like my high school experience, I decided not to select any school from Hanover. I only selected school in St. James and I think 2 boarding schools. And I just wanted to see the different sides of the world. I don't want to just stick in my comfort zone forever. I kind of want to be like uncomfortable, because I believe that true growth will happen when you're uncomfortable.
Gems. Look at you dropping gems at such a young age. Look at that. So tell us, which school did you get? Did you eventually choose? Because you got offers, but which school did you eventually choose?
I chose the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill as a Robertson Scholar.
Why?
I think the scholarship program, the Robertson Scholarship Program, is the reason why I chose that school. Because I went up in April to the Robertson Connection weekend, and just the environment there. Like, I was seen, I was heard, I could have any conversation with the persons there. And I felt like I wasn't just an international student who was going into a weird space. Like, my thoughts were valued and everything. So I could see myself excelling there, and it's a leadership program. So their entire goal is to make you a transformative leader. And they gave a full scholarship, as well as 4 summers. They'll pay for 4 summer experiences and 2 semesters abroad. So that was something that was really attractive.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're just going to get the full experience.
Yes.
I'm excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So let's take it a step back though. When you got your acceptance letter, tell me about that moment.
Okay, so I got the semifinalists because it's in stages. You send off your general application to the Robertson Scholarship Program, then you'll get a notification that you're a semifinalist, then you'll do an asynchronous prompt and a semifinalist panel interview, and then you'll get notified that you're a finalist. You do a next set of interviews, and then you will get a notification that you have received a scholarship. So after I sent off the general interview, the general application, I got a notification that I was a semifinalist, and I was like excited and everything. And then I started getting all the requirements, what I needed to do since I was selected as a semifinalist. So I had to answer a moral dilemma question about a lifeboat, and I was going to, that sank with like 3,000 people, and who would I save, and in what order? So I had to answer that. Then I did a semifinalist interview with like some of the faculty members from the program. And then I got the notification that I was a finalist, and I was like celebrating and everything. And then I said, I have one more interview. If I made it this far, I was gonna reach the end. And I did the finalist interview, and I told my mom that I don't think I got the scholarship, because usually in an interview, the interviewer will smile at me halfway because I would pop a joke or something. But they were very serious. They were the benefactors of the program and some alums who were doing amazing things in the world. And I was like, they're not impressed with just a little country girl from Jamaica.
They were kind of stiff.
Yeah, they were.
We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to hear about the moment, that penultimate moment when she got her answer. Stay with us. Morning Coffee Guest will be right back. Welcome back to Morning Coffee Guest. I'm your host, Simone Absalom Gale, and we're talking to Tiana Dinham, the Maryland Hanover native, who created history of being the first Jamaican student to have won the Robertson Scholarship, plus several other university scholarships, such as the Johnson Scholarship to study at the Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia, right? Yep. A scholarship to Dartmouth College in the US, and another from the University of British Columbia in Canada. In all, you got offered 13 scholarships, right?
Yes.
Wow. So you chose one. We were talking about why you chose it and what happened the moment you found out. So there are levels to it. So yes. You got in as the finalist among several other students, right?
Yeah.
So what happened the moment you got your final word?
I was at school. I just finished my chemistry mock exam, and I turned on my phone. And during the college application season, I ensured that my email was like a major notification that came up on my phone. So as I turned on my phone, I saw an email from the Robertson committee saying, "Congratulations." So I turned to my best friend and I said, "Can you read this for me? Read it for me, read it for me." And she read it and she said, "Tiana, you got it?" I said, "Got it?" She said, "Yes, you got the scholarship." And we just screamed, and I ran from like I ran a good distance, and then I called my mom and I said, Mommy, I got it. I got the scholarship. And I cried because all that hard work really paid off. And to know like all the experiences that I would gain from this scholarship really blew my mind. And I called everybody in my family, and we all danced and shouted and screamed together on the phone. And I was still on the school compound right before the principal's office. And I ran in and I told her that, Miss, I got it, because during that time period I was telling everybody that I'm applying for this scholarship. I am just trying to get it. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I'm just trying.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been like an emotional moment. What was the reaction of your community? Because you said it's a small community that you're from, 120 people. So everybody heard.
Everybody heard.
What was it like?
My phone didn't stop ringing for like 2 days. Everybody was calling, coming to my house to visit me, and just overall just saying how proud they were of me. Because it's not just my accomplishment. It's not just about me. It's about them as well. It's about Maryland. It's about shedding some light that there are talents in Maryland who are coming forward. And overall, it's just an amazing experience for all of us, because again, it's not just me, it's all of them.
What kept you motivated going through that process? Because once again, you didn't just apply and get a letter. Yeah. It was a process.
Yes, it was. I think my family and my friends played a major role in me just staying focused through the entire thing. Because halfway through, I started thinking that they're not gonna believe that a little country girl from Hanover, from Jamaica, is going to amount to anything. But they were my motivating factor, my driving factor behind of me. Every time I had a doubt, they just move it away. They just supported me. They sent me like encouraging messages. I have friends who I call before every interview, and I just say, pray with me, and they just pray with me before I go into that interview. So everyone was rooting for me. I could keep my mom up at night talking about it, saying, this is what I'm gonna say if they ask me about this and why. She helped me do interview prep. I called my dad. He would give me encouraging words and stuff. Like, they were just amazing, and I could not do it without them.
Wow. So, but you got 13 though.
Yeah.
How did it feel to get so many scholarship proposals?
Wow, it was a surreal experience, because first and foremost, I was literally begging the schools to believe in me, because I did a lot of interviews, whether it was admissions or for the scholarships. I did the interviews and I was like, I'm going to utilize these resources and that, and just overall trying to let them believe that I was worth their investment. Because again, I was not just asking for admission, I was asking for like some amount of scholarship as well. And to know that 13 universities took a chance with me, like, it's something that really blows my mind, because it's not easy to ask someone to believe in you, and to say that they just sat there and just decided that I had the potential, like, it really got me.
All right, so we know you're an academic. Yeah. You did well at school. But besides school though, let's take a little twist. What else are you good at?
I would say I'm a good sports watcher. Like, I am not good at any sports except volleyball and maybe cricket. But I watch a lot of sports, and I will have any conversation during World Cup time, Olympics, anything. And I'm also heavily involved in like community development and rural development. So I started like a marching band in my community to try and provide like a safe and interactive space for the youths in my community. So that was like my major project. Like, I'm a dramatic person, so I'm all about like performing arts. But I would say my major thing in life has always been how to engage like youths in other activities. So like my life's mission has always been, how can I get people off the streets?
Wow. So what are your major plans though? Because you're going and you want to get into the area of medicine and administrative medicine. But you're from a small community. Do you have any plans for them in the future? Because you're like the pioneer now, burning a trailblazer, so to speak.
Right now I'm thinking about implementing like a mentorship program, because I don't want to just be an anomaly. I don't want persons to think that I'm the only person that could do it. I believe everyone can do it. I just think they need the proper training to do it and to get the correct information. So right now I'm thinking about doing like a mentorship program for my community and the surrounding communities, to allow the other youths in my community to see that there are opportunities not just in Jamaica that is open to them. There's opportunity abroad. So that's something that I'm thinking about doing right now.
Wow. So when you're thinking about your future plans, though, you have to choose a major.
Yeah.
What major did you decide to test?
I am going to try, I intend to major in health policy and management, and hopefully a minor in exercise and sport science.
Why?
As I told you, my long-term goal is to maybe open some hospitals and clinics in remote area, and I think that major would give me like the health aspect as well as the business side to running like a hospital or a clinic. And if I do end up switching to maybe becoming a doctor, that major also provides you with the training to get into like med school after.
Wow, big plans.
Yes.
Big plans. So how did College Co fit into all of this?
So College Co is a college consultancy that operates from Hillel Academy, but it's not just Hillel affiliated. So I remember just signing up for an initial consultation with College Co in like March of 2021. And I just went online with Amanda Rickman, who is the CEO of College Co, and I was just talking to her about like my activities at school, my grades and everything. And she's like, she's inspired because of me and everything. And she said, you know what, I'm going to start a fellowship program where we provide our highest college like advising program for free for like students who aren't from like the best background. So I just went there to just get some free advice because I heard that the initial consultation was free. And I just went there to get like advice on how I could apply abroad. And she just took a chance with me. And she said, you know what, I'm going to guide you through this process and I'm going to help you to get into the best school, the right school for you. And she was with me through all of this, through the 60 essays I had to write, through all the interviews and everything. Like Amanda has been a driving force. So I recommend College Co like 1,000,000%, not even 100. Like, they're amazing.
So, did your mother, would you say, play mentally an important role?
Yes, she did.
In this whole process? How so?
She has always been like my best friend. I know it's weird to say that your mom is your best friend, but my mom is my best friend. Like sometimes I'll just sit her down and we just have long conversations about this entire process, about my life. I can't tell you how much time I sat her down and said, Mommy, I'm going to become an astronaut. I'm going to become an astronomer. I'm going to become a doctor, lawyer. Like every time I need any type of conversation, I just sit down with my mom and we talk about it. She's a busy person, but she always makes the time to like have these conversations with me. Like she's always been the person that centers me sometimes because my head I get so dreamy sometimes. I get ahead of myself. But she has always like centered me back to earth and guided me through everything.
All right, so your mom is name. Tell the audience, what's your mom's name?
My mom is Andrea Dehaney Grant.
All right, so Miss Grant spoke with us and she has a message for mothers and a message to you. Let's take a look.
I was actually very, very excited about the news when Tiana called me and told me. I was actually at work and I shared the experience with my co-workers who were at work. You know, I told them about the scholarship that Tiana has received and they were also very excited for her. Tiana has been a very, very hard worker at school. She has been a consistent worker who knows what she wanted. And because of that, I supported her in everything that she does. She would come talk to me about, you know, her experiences at school. I would always be there to listen for her and motivate her in everything that she does. And so when she told me that she was thinking about going overseas to go to school, I supported her because she has been someone who has been very disciplined, knows what she wanted. She has always been a leader, and so I expect her wherever she goes that she will be leading. If it were for her to go to the University of the West Indies, I would be able to assist her with that. And so when she came on and told me that she was going to think about overseas, I would not be able to afford those university costs. And so the scholarships would have been the way for her in that area. And so I want to advise all the parents who are out there in Jamaica that allow your children to dream and dream big and support them in whatever venture they have and do your research because there are a lot of avenues out there, a lot of areas where you can get funding to assist your children. And if you look out, ask persons, seek support, you will get assistance. There are a lot of scholarships out there that a lot of us don't know about. But if you do your research, you'll be able to find out that your children that you have, they have the opportunity to get those scholarships. Your children that you have, don't put them in a box and to say that they're not able to get that scholarship or they're not able to achieve that. Support them in whatever venture. Get some support from other persons around you. Ask others for help, because Jamaica will depend on our students, our children moving academically in order for us to change this nation. Ever since she got the scholarship, I've been talking to her almost every day. She has to remain focused. She has always been a leader, so I'm expecting her to lead. I want her to go out there, make her mark, and to continue to make Jamaica proud, because in the end, they're going to say she's from Jamaica and she has done. If she has done good, they're going to say she do good, and if she does bad, they're going to say that. So I want her to stay focused. Don't trust anyone. Ensure that she remains faithful to God who we serve, because God has taken her through all of this. He has taken her to say that she got a scholarship. So I know that if she continues to focus on God Almighty being her sole person who she looks up to, I know she will achieve that. As I said before, I know she has been always a leader. So I know that she's not going to be a follower and allow anyone to guide her along a path that she doesn't want to go. So I'm expecting her to do that. She has always been very well disciplined. She has not given me any great challenges as a child growing up. And I know that she will be able to continue to do that. In addition to that, I have some family members who live in North Carolina, and that was one of the reasons why we chose that school, that she will get some support from her family members that are there. And I will be like a telephone call away. I've always been her best friend. I will continue to be that. She can talk to me about every single thing, and I expect her to do that while she's in North Carolina. So I want to wish her all the best, and I expect just the best from her. I love her. All of us in Maryland loves her. Her family love her. Jamaica loves her. And we are expecting her to continue to shine, to make the world a better place with her impact. Tiana, you know that I love you. You have been my best friend as well. We have had many conversations, and you know that I am expecting just the best from you, because you're a star and you are going to achieve the best. Love you, Tiana.
All right, so that was a message from Tiana's mom. Tiana, now quickly your brief message to fellow schoolmates from your school and from your community. A quick message of advice.
The first thing I want to say to everyone is that I am not an anomaly. Like, this is possible for everyone. I just think that you need to find the right opportunities. Don't just stick in your comfort zone, but look abroad, look outside of your parish, look outside of your county, just look somewhere. I would recommend that you also don't limit yourself and be your biggest support, because if you start to doubt yourself, the people around you are going to start to doubt you as well. So I recommend that you just dream big and dream broad, because the sky is honestly the limit. Because I never expected to be in this position, and I'm sure it's possible for everyone. So just keep working hard and just believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. The backbone of success is hard work, determination, good planning, and perseverance. Plus, the beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Join us next time for another interesting episode of Morning Coffee Guest.